Bam, bam, bam. What is up? Welcome back to a little Tinfoil Hat Thursday. It's Nando. I apologize for being a tad late. Had to set up this little NFL network, the little NFL combine, because that's what day it is today. Tinfoil Hat Thursday with a little NFL combine taste. I'm about to throw it up right here on the screen right now. In the meantime, while I do, please feel free to look at the little live results. Nothing really is happening so far. We've had a couple 40-yard dashes. Brian Brees out of Clemson is the biggest name there. He's a great defensive tackle. He ran a 4.93 for that big boy. You love to see when they can run under 5 seconds. And I think I'm just going to say F it and just roll with the little actually putting it on the screen, because why not? I'm really here to test out what is going to work for the running backs, the wide receivers. Those are the days I'm most interested in because they're the most fun 40-yard dashes, really. Until then, though, we really have to see how it all works out. I think that we've got plenty to see here. I'm very excited. Bum-ba-da-dum. And now we wait, though. So far, nothing's going on right now. How's everybody doing on this fine Thursday? Today, basically, we're going to be peeping out the combine, checking out who runs fast. Really, the linebackers are going to be the group that interests any Miami Dolphins fan the most today, particularly looking at guys like DeMarvin Overshawn out of Texas, who, shout out King of Finland, he broke it down pretty nicely, which linebackers reacted pretty well to us. Trenton Simpson out of Clemson met with the Dolphins. Sewell out of Oregon also met with the Dolphins, but the name that interests me a lot is DeMarvin Overshawn. DeMavrian? I'm going to just call him D. Overshawn, man. The guy out of Texas, linebacker. He showed a lot of interest in coming back to play with Brandon Jones, linking up with his former Longhorn teammate. And I love to see that. You know, Brandon Jones is a linebacker, is a safety who likes to play closer to the line of scrimmage. He likes to get mean and physical in the box. And if his old linebacker teammate wants to pair up with him and reestablish that hard-hitting dominance in the NFL, I love to see it, and that's all I'm waiting for. Bada bing, bada bang. Adam, let's go. Let's get it, baby. Tinfoil meeting Thursdays. Let's go. To anybody tuning in at me at work, you're absolutely legendary. Boss man Russell, thanks for tuning in. I think we should be good. And at Campbell, Ombapo needs to be looked at heavy. Exactly. Jack Campbell is a name who is going to be very interested in the combine. And I know what a lot of people say about the NFL combine. It's the underwear Olympics. It means nothing. This, that, yada, yada, all these naysayers. And well, for the most part, it is true. It's not necessarily like a star-studded combine day translates to automatic NFL success. But for a lot of these guys, it will do wonders to their stock, or it could sink them. Guys like Jack Campbell, you know, Ombapo, particularly Campbell, who is on that border of that second, third round linebacker, but he could even slip if he has a poor combine showing. If he doesn't have a great 40, if he's supposed to be a little sluggish, a little slow, it could hurt him despite having great technique and great instincts. He's a guy who is going to, we need to watch out for that 40-yard dash. If he has an above average or even a solid time, we're talking about Campbell could cement himself in the second round, and maybe even a guy we look at pick 52. If not, hey, I'm saying like Overshawn from University of Texas, the little Longhorn, let's go. My guy in the third round could be very exciting as well, but he's an athletic dude. If him, Simpson, both athletes, if they have great days, who knows, they might rise up in boards. So this is what I'm talking about for the combine. I want to see how these men perform, how they start holding up with it, and we'll rock and roll. I'm very intrigued to see how it plays out. I try to put it on my NFL Plus. It's saying there's nothing going on right now, which, oh, there we go. We're getting some action back. Bada bing, bada dang. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. I thought it was coming back. Well, because I've got NFL Plus as well, but I don't know why it's not playing there either. We're still waiting. It's on commercial. Thank you for telling me that, Russell. I just wanted to double check that I wasn't the one who was messing up. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to be able to keep it on this screen. Oh, wow. That's a lot of 40s I missed. You have NFL Network? Yeah, I have NFL Plus, and I should have NFL Network as well. I might have to switch webcams and screen share this from my phone and record for my webcam, but we'll see in a second. We'll see how it plays out. Right now, this is how the 40-yard dashes are going for most of the big boys. Again, D lineman isn't something that interests us too much. Yeah, Russell, let me know when it comes back on, because if it is, I'm gonna have to see what's happening with my NFL Plus. But I'm really more interested in the linebacker times, guys. That's what we're really going to be here for. I don't think we're going to go any D linemen. Considering that I'm trying to pay Wilkins, Zach Sealer's still on the team, Raekwon Davis is in the wings. I don't see us getting really D linemen, but it's always fun seeing anyone in the combine. Nothing more electric than watching a little big boys come after it and start running down the line. And hey, like, it's always interesting to see how like a 5.45 seems slow. Dude, that's lightning at these guys' size. They will flatten most people in the world. Okay. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, we have a D line. Exactly, Russell. If there's anything that I'm not too concerned about on this defense, it is that front four, that D line. You know, you can always more pass rushers never really hurt, I guess. But when you've got the likes of Jalen Phillips, Christian Wilkins, Emmanuel Ogba, freaking wow, Bradley Chubb, my name was just blanking for a second. Like, we've got star-studded talent all over. Okay, at the tackle, at defensive end, we got pass rushers and interior guys. Bada bing, bada bang. It's just fun to keep track of them right now. But I'm really looking forward to this linebacker stuff, man. What is happening with my NFL subscriptions, baby? Yeah, NFL Plus. Boom. I have it. Manage. Current plan. All right, computer, don't freeze on me. Technical. There we go. All right. Yeah, I've got my pass until 7/29, which is wow, July 29th. Yeah, come on, man. Don't fail on me now. Is it still in commercial? Why will it not play? It's back on. All righty. This is going to be an interesting time then. How will I try to get this then? Because I got NFL Plus through the Miami Dolphins season tickets, but it mainly works on my phone. I think I'm supposed to be able to put it on my laptop as well. For some reason, it's not working for the combine. So I'm not sure what's happening. Let's double check. Not even on the regular site. Do. Oh, it's back on. How dare you, NFL? Well, we'll keep talking while I figure this out. Yeah, it's the D lineman. It's Jalen Carter, not Darnell Washington, but still Georgia. Yeah, it's a little shame. B McD. Okay, so it's a little bad. Got you. If it's a little slow, I'll just stick on this screen and I'll bear with it and grin it, and hopefully it'll lock and load. My computer is not the fastest, so we'll see with it. But hey, for right now, we'll be bouncing back in with it. But yeah, Raphael Knight, it's a sad situation. They're still figuring out most of the details. I think he was released and allowed to go to the combine. I'm not sure on that end, but it's definitely something that's going to be worth monitoring. I have not looked in too much of the case because I know the details are still coming out. I'm sure we'll find out more info as more info comes out. But for right now, it's yeah. So basically, about to face manslaughter charges. It sounds like he's posted out in bail. Oof. I know there's conflicting stories of whether he was there, and then it was said he was not there, and then he said, she said, whatnot. Best of luck to them who are trying to figure out the truth on that situation. The Jalen Carter stuff sucks. He was projected to be top 5. For some, even had him at number 1 overall if the Bears don't trade out of that pick. But we're going to see how it shakes out now. It's never pretty. He's there but not participating. Got it. So it sucks for Jalen Carter. Tis a shame indeed. Hoping that this combat thing comes back, because the other option is to put the webcam on and literally hold my phone. You know what I'm saying? Which is not the worst idea, but definitely not the coolest idea. So, aye. But this is exactly what this Tinfoil Hat Thursday was supposed to be. I'm here to talk. We're here to talk a little combine, talk a little conspiracy, talk a little wild thoughts, and hopefully stream this out. But again, mainly also test this up so that in the future upcoming days of the combine, we'll have this nice and ready to rock and roll, particularly the running backs. And this same thing I'm about to say about the 40-yard dash applies to all positions. But the Underwear Olympics is important for the very simple reason that if players perform well, if they actually go out there and test above their expectations, the guys who were supposed to run 4.5s, if they run a 4.4, if the guys run 4.4s, run 4.3s, if the slow QBs run 4.7s, okay, if the plotting linebacker seems to be a little bit shiftier on the cone drills and athleticism, and all this is displayed, guys' stock does go up. And I know there seems to be that saying of the further away guys get from playing football, the better they seem to be. A lot of these guys haven't played since December, some of them in early January. And sometimes stock seems to be going up. And I'm looking at you, Anthony Richardson. But it does happen. And it is something to follow and keep track of. And whether some GMs see athleticism and they say, okay, that will actually translate to the NFL. And some of them get bought into this smokescreen, this illusion that this Olympic level athlete can become a pure NFL baller. And sometimes it doesn't purely pan out. We, as the Dolphins, have seen Deion Jordan was a combine freak, did nothing in the NFL, absolutely nothing. And there's guys like Jarvis Landry who don't have the best combine, slip a little to the second round, and they still become studs. It works both ways. If you find the right guys who burst athletically, you can get some great A+ caliber players. But if you also pay attention to the guys who were, this kid was a stud on every single level, he just ran a bit slow over 40-yard dash. You can get some great talent later on in the drafts as well. So it's remains to be seen which angle is the one to go for. But for all intents and purposes, you've got to hope. We've got to hope that our linebackers, we find the right guy today. Okay. Today's when it begins. We have had interviews. We've begun meeting with them. But watching how they perform in person as athletes, how they move, massive move. Well, we're going to see guys like Anthony Richardson maybe shoot up to top 10, cement themselves in the first round because of their great combines. Okay. Yeah. Kevin White with the Bears. Who remembers that, man? We're talking about a wide receiver out of West Virginia who was like, 6'2", 6'3". He was a big boy, extremely limited route tree, about as limited as Tavon Austin, except Tavon Austin was an absolute dynamite. Okay. He was so athletic, so shifty, and even he couldn't translate it. Kevin White, even worse, even shoddier, and completely flared out for the Bears. Happens every year. There's always combine risers. So as much as we're going to stay paying attention to this and keep our eyes out on it, we're not going to pay the most attention to it. Ooh, Okay, I'm gonna probably have to switch this combine streaming thing if I'm gonna want it to happen. I am going to do a little shout out right here though. No crazy D tackles have really gone. Zach Pickens out of South Carolina ran a 4.96. That's awesome. But shout out Nesta Jade Silvera, fellow American Heritage alumni right there. Ran a 5.21. Not the greatest 40-yard dash, but we were talking about a mountain of a man. So hopefully, Nesta, you continue balling and you continue going in your little NFL journey, man. He went to UM. Then he came out of Arizona State. 6'2", 300-pound beast. Okay. 32-inch arms. Come on, Nesta. I hope to see you on a good team in the future, man. Let's rock and roll with it. But still nothing on this little combine thingy. You're irking me. It's back on commercial, huh? They keep getting me. They keep getting me, Russell. The linebacker's about to run soon. Okay, then I'm going to do the switcheroonie, I think. I'm going to leave it on this screen. I'm going to be right back with the webcam, though. All righty. We're going to stream. Aw, everybody left. It's all good. The loyals who stayed, you're real ones. We're going to be streaming this bad boy in action. Getting the webcam on, and we're going to be throwing it on my phone, and I'm going to be finagling it. Okay, I'm going to do something. Because at least with the phone, I could try to AirPlay it or screen share it, and it'll be good to rock and roll. Or at least I'll be able to watch it and live commentate a little bit better. Yeah, out of UCLA, right? Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I believe that's who we were talking about. Yeah, he's pretty decent, nice and athletic. Could be cool in the 7th round, I believe. He's another guy who, like, for example, we're talking about combine. If he has some nice running and he can actually show his athleticism, that'll be worth it. He's nice in short area throws. I think he's got to work a little bit. He's a little raw, but hey, I'm down. I think he could have some nice success at the next level. And he came from Bishop Gorman, a great high school program. I fucks with that. And at UCLA, I got to see a couple games with him. So if you're talking about for the Dolphins, I'd be intrigued. I think we had been discussing at the time as maybe Max Duggan or Dorian Thompson-Robinson, some of those 7th round guys. I'd be down for him. That's what I'm saying, man. What an absolute baller name. When you're talking about future backups on your squad, you want amazing names, okay? Like Kader Kahu, whether he becomes the next true stud Dolphins corner or if he just becomes a solid cornerback for this team, that name is amazing. Same with Nick Needham, okay? Sky Thompson's got a decent name, but Dorian Thompson-Robinson, DTR, what an absolute name. Oh no, yeah, he's got plenty of upside, man. Especially because he's younger. As a 23-year-old, I think you just have more room to grow into as an athlete. I mean, he's already extremely athletic, but if we're talking about squeezing that rawness into actual success, oh yeah, man. Like I would much rather see a guy that athletic in that nature. Kadar with the radar, Darth Kader, baby. Yeah, man. Cesar Darth Kader is cool, but Kadar with the radar, I like that, man. If he gets some picks down, man, Darth Kader with the Darth Kader, Raiden. Oh my God, there's so many fun nicknames you can make with some of our players, man. We do grab a QB. I'd like Stetson or Duggan, but really don't want to waste a pick on QB this draft. I agree. That would have to be more like they fall into the 7th round. I believe Max Duggan will be there in the 7th. Not sure if Stetson will. But it's going to be very interesting, guys. I'm about to say, don't take away my logo stuff. All right, I'm switching cameras, guys. Do 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 do. Whoa. What's under here? Gotcha. All righty. We did it. Believe. Come on. Work machine. No way. Ah, there we go. I was about to restart the entire stream just to fix this up. But what is up? Bada bing, bada bang. We are back and rolling. We've got it unlocked. And now I will try to broadcast this in. Everybody knows that we've got the combine. So anyone else have any interesting names? I'm still trying to check for the linebackers and whatnot. I'm going to see on my phone if this is working any better. All right. Is it in commercial again? Oh, it's on right now? Then it's just not going to work. Then this is so lame, Russell. Still D-line at the moment. What's the point of having NFL Plus then if it's not going to be able to let me watch it? So lame. So lame. All righty. How is this going to work? Phone, do something for me. Oh, bang, it worked. Legendary. Wow, now it works on my computer. How freaking funny is that? That is too funny. It finally worked. This is way better than what I was going to do. I was going to do this. How lame. Let's rock and roll with it, baby. Calais Campbell is a freaking animal. Golly D, what an absolute monster of a human, man.
Young ankles, young knees. Look at that, young ankles and young knees right there.
And there you go.
Some action out there.
You had plenty of other sacks in the building.
Who knows as if this is legal, but we'll rock and roll with it because we took so long to set this up.
inside Lucas Oil Stadium. And then, of course, standing right next to Dwight, these guys were teammates with the Arizona Cardinals, who drafted Calais Campbell in the second round, but first made an impact playing for the U down in Miami.
Little Calais Campbell.
Yes, sir. Young.
Yes, sir.
Got that 81 rolling.
81.
We might need
I recruited to colleges.
I'm gonna play no sound though. It's too much. But how's it going, everybody? It's finally working. It finally took about 20 minutes. And by the time it worked on my phone, it worked here as well. So I'm not going to switch back to my phone camera just in case I need to change it around. Who knows if this is allowed? But we're going to test it out for today because if this works out, I'm streaming like this for the rest of the week. We're going to be catching all the combine coverage here on the Nando Talk because that's the benefits of not being a monetized channel, of being a little boy. Okay? A little channel, little man, solo operation here. Sorry, Tubube. But hey, let's go. Give me some drills, man. I finally got this set up. Give the people what they came here to see. I'm purposely not maximized screaming it, hoping that I get away with this. But we'll see. You know, let them know I'm paying for my subscription. What's up? Stop talking and do stuff, guys. All right. That's what I want to see. I want to see some drills. I want to see some movement. I might have started this stream way too early if we're going to be talking about little D lineman stuff, though. So if it's nothing too crazy right now, we'll move her aside. Guys, this is Tinfoil Hat Thursday right now. We're trying to wait for the linebackers, trying to see them run the 40-yard dash, see which are going to be the biggest risers, who's going to be the biggest fallers. But for right now, we'll see if it's happening. They'll see if it's working. This is just a big test for the corners, the running backs, the wide receivers, the quarterbacks. That'll be much more interesting throughout this week. So stay tuned for that as well. Change the camera a bit so we could rock and roll with the phone. And then it worked on the computer anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Holy dang. This is on until 8 p.m. Yeah, Russell, I totally miscalculated how long the combine takes. I'm definitely not going to be here till 8 p.m. But we'll be having a fun time. We'll be topping. We'll be chatting it up. I think I'm going to drop the link just so people can talk a little if they want, because I'm probably not going forever. But ooh, what we got? What comparison were we talking right now? Wow, we've got a guy getting compared to Aaron Donald. You'll love to see that.
7-8 on that first attempt, ended up running a 4.73 on the second attempt. This is them, the famous simulcam with Aaron Donald and Kalijah Cansey. And guys, Kalijah's just a little
really for a D lineman. It's really that first 10 yards that matters most. Yeah. And that was
really impressive. You're right about that 10. It was almost on the dot. And the legacy continues. Actually, Kalijah had a chance to meet Aaron Donald.
Okay.
So much to that Pitt program in terms of their athletic facilities and is always there. And so what a cool opportunity to kind of compare that and to spend some time with one of the very best in the NFL and Aaron Donald. So excited to see Kalijah Cansey get out here and start the field drills, which begin, guys, with the wave drill. I want to give you a little introduction to that drill here. It starts with the player on the ground, on their stomachs, face down. They come up about 5 yards away from the line of scrimmage, and then they've got to take the direction and work that wave drill from the coach, and then they'll finish strong. And again, that is something that you're going to hear a lot from these coaches that are running through these drills. Finish, finish, finish. Something you guys probably hear in practice a bunch too. And so they're just getting set to begin these drills here. So we're excited to bring this to you here on NFL Plus. I'm excited to have you a part of the next 4 days here with some exclusive.
Cansey has not done the vertical yet.
Let's get to it here, fellas. Let's see what we got. All right. So first defensive lineman up should be Keanu Benton. Let's
go.
See here from Wisconsin.
Come on. Put your foot in the ground and go. Put your foot in the ground and go, big man. Okay. Come on back this way. Got good loose hips. Come to me. Get out and go. Don't guess.
That's actually Gerard Clark. That is the defensive lineman from Coastal Carolina. Big fella that can play over the nose or anywhere along the defensive line.
And I think one of the big things.
Big boy at Coastal Carolina.
You don't want to anticipate
what the coach is going to say. You're going to have to kind of react. And that's what these coaches want to see is your reaction time to some type of stimulus. And that's what's happening here. But if you guess and you guess wrong, you're going to look bad.
And you're going to see it, and everyone's going to see it. So, Calais, how does this kind of translate this drill to just, some things and some skills that you use, on a daily basis in the league?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is change of direction, being able to, have quick reactions and then really just how fluid your hips are, that change of direction with your hips. Every D lineman has to be able to put their foot in the ground, chase screens, be able to, flip their hips in the pass rush scenario. And all this is just a precursor to, can they do that in the game setting?
Some real athleticism here from Javon Dexter, senior defensive lineman.
Oh, a big boy who can move.
Who was able to chase down Will Levis, a really mobile quarterback from Kentucky when those two played this year.
Big guys that can run make a lot of money.
a whole bunch. And you know what? You don't want to see one of these big guys running at you if you're a running back,
slow,
receiver, or a quarterback. So this is an important drill for everybody here.
Yeah, you went to all big. That was Siaki Ika from Baylor. We were talking about at 358 pounds.
Moves well, though.
And
358 pounds? That changes everything. Oh.
That's okay. Get up.
Yeah, get up.
You gotta get up.
You go fall down in the game, too.
Yep.
This big PJ Muscle.
How you handle adversity is important, though. That's important, too.
And we'll see that often here, right? Is how you respond.
Yeah, tad sloppy, Adam.
Like Calais said earlier, as far as the
but he did get up.
That happen, things are going to happen on these types of drills where you're not going to run it perfectly. But the important part is you get up and you keep trying and you try to forget about it because you've been training for this type of thing the entire time leading up here. So you know how to do these drills. It's just about learning how to perform under pressure.
Nice work there from Moro Ajomo, defensive lineman from Texas, who's actually born in Nigeria, played 50 games at Texas. And that's what you're going to see from a lot of these guys, the COVID year, extra experience, who maybe have some guys with a little bit more refinement to their technique, which maybe we'll see here throughout these drills.
The better guys have yet to get in cuts, man.
I think a lot of times
hard to plant at that size, but
getting up off the ground.
Yeah. With 368 pounds, you might have a hard time getting up. But it is what it is. It's just about effort. You show effort out here, and that's a lot what the coaches are looking for. Maximum effort cannot be half effort, none of that stuff.
And you see the coaches at either end on kind of manning the cones where the drill finishes, and they're motivated, right? They're trying to tell you, like, let's go finish.
Yeah.
You'd shake all of them, Flock.
Good feet. You see, he has some real good feet.
He's a University of Miami guy. Just got to shut it out.
And he better be careful because they're going to have him dropping in coverage a lot with those types of feet.
Shout out Nesta Jade Silvera. There we go. Flock, that's Nesta, bro, from American Heritage. How crazy.
We now get to watch it. Dante Stills. Guys, I got
once
to see.
Always the cane, no.
Yeah, no. I got always with the U. I get it. Dante is a guy who is a record holder in West Virginia, games played and in tackles for loss in a career. So really made an impact from that interior defensive line position.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, 52 and a half career tackles for loss.
That's balling.
That's making plays, right?
And you're living in the right area behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
All right.
So to get tackles for loss, you got to be bold. You got to take chances. You got to be aggressive. You got to have a good get off.
Yes, sir.
Final defensive lineman of this group.
I want to say he was in a grade lower than this.
Cameron Young.
Another thing you want to see is the guys like their pad level. How low can they move while they're being low? And,
yes, sir.
The best feet I've seen so far, and that's the Jade Silvera.
A little stiff in the hips. You got to be able to stay fluid and drop your shoulders a little bit.
These guys are all monsters, though.
Okay, so we've got drill transition now. So we go from the wave drill to the 4-bag agility drill, and getting a look again at some replays of what we saw here from the wave drill. I mean, this is a tough drill. For it's not too often you're going to make that many moves in a single rep on a single play.
Well, I think the thing with this drill, as an interior guy, a guy that's on the interior, you have to get out of traffic. Right? And there's going to be guys cutting you, guys going to be lying on the ground. You have to jump sometimes over your player and other players just to make the play. So these bags are simulating all of those types of things where you could see trapping things in your way and you have to find a way to get over those to get wherever you need to get to.
Yeah, I fell down a lot on the football field, just for the record.
That happens to everybody.
How quick can you get up? But you're like a hot stove.
Yeah.
How quick can you get up?
But if you're going to fall, bring somebody down with you.
Got that right. Yeah, hey, man, cause some havoc, right?
Yeah.
However you can.
Cause some trouble. Exactly, like a bull in a china shop.
Bull in a china shop, man.
They just tell me that I was so clumsy I would fall into place.
Hey, you know what?
I
Whatever
love
it
having
takes to get
Dwight
the
Freeney and
job
Calais
done.
Campbell right now
Sometimes
breaking
you
down
gotta
this
be lucky
D-line
in this
group.
game.
Hey, real talk, you falling down, just dive. And,
What else do they bring for the other
yeah,
positions?
grab a shoelace.
As I said, if you falling, someone is falling with you.
Okay.
So this is the 4-bag agility drill as we go back to the top of group number 1, which starts with Keanu Benton from Wisconsin. So you start in the prone position between the 4 bags, running that left, right, left sequence, and then you're getting over the bags moving forward.
Let's go, ACC. I see you. Okay.
He's looking good. He's looking good.
Yeah, me neither, Adam.
Nice turn. Now you have to explode.
I like it.
This is my practice run too for the other positional groups because I did not study the D lineman yet.
4-bag drill. So we turn the
Dolphins don't need one.
our attention to Gerard Clark.
Big boy can move now. He got those. He got the feet.
Sure does.
Okay, a little spicy.
Now this is a drill like I guess variations. They probably done their whole life though. Like the wave drill, you don't really do that, with training.
Yeah.
But bag drills, you do this. This is something you should train at. Since high school, really all through college.
Keandre Coburn right there from Texas. Guy was a top 50 recruit nationally coming out of high school. Played a ton of football with the Longhorns.
It's group 1.
Dale.
And
B McD, so it's not the greatest group right now, athleticism-wise.
Is don't look at the bags as you're going over the bags.
So hard, right?
It's almost impossible, but you have to kind of peripher the bag. So you have to kind of look forward and know where the bag is. So if you're getting over in a game and this type of thing happens where a guy falls, you don't want to look at the guy who's falling in front of you. You want to get over that guy and look at the ball and where the ball is.
Great teaching points right there from Dwight Freeney as we get another look at Siaki Ika.
Big boy.
That's a good looking. That is a good looking rep.
Yes,
I want to go back to the Dexter kid.
Javon Dexter.
Javon Dexter.
It's a couple of drills now.
He's a big athletic guy. He's probably making himself some money right now. I've only seen a little bit. I haven't seen everything else. I don't know all his numbers, but from what I've seen, I'm sure there's some guys getting excited. Some front office people, drilling, saying, "Hey, we might find this one."
Listen, all that weight moving that fast is probably cheating in some way, somehow.
Well, and Calais, you'll appreciate this as a guy who can find the ball in the air.
Looked good. Very big boy.
He did that in that same game against Kentucky. His buddy Brenton Cox got some pressure, got his hands on it, and talking about awareness with Dexter to go up and find it, ball skills to bring it in.
Facts, bro. That's why he went number 1 overall.
Playmakers, things you can't coach, like all this stuff. You can teach him how to be better, but you can't really coach like size and speed. You can't coach athleticism. You can teach a guy how to be lower, how to come out of his hips more, how to play with his hands and leverage, but you can't teach athleticism. So that's what these drills are for, though. Try to separate, a lot of really good guys who are equal on tape, to find the difference between them.
Dwight, you see the look down?
Yes.
That's exactly, that's spot on what the combine is for, man. You can't coach athleticism. All these guys are good. They're all great football players. We're trying to find the elites.
And if you can do that better, you're going to make more plays. So that's also something that the coaches are kind of looking at outside of the fact that you want to see how these guys move. And like Calais said, when you're watching a game and you're sitting there with the guys in the pads, they're moving differently. Sometimes there's so much going on, you can't really see that individual move the way that you would think that you would want to see him move. But in these drills, you can see him specifically, and you can focus on what he needs to get better.
Here's Dante Stills.
That was perfect till that little slip.
Playing at West Virginia.
Come on, Nesta.
Here he goes, working his way. That was a pretty good feel right there.
All right, man. The Underwear Olympics, bro. It's all about who can move a little better. What separates you from the rest.
9 hits on the quarterback, most by any SEC interior defensive lineman. This is the dude that knows how to get to the quarterback.
Oh, we like that, right? The more hits on the quarterback, the better we all are.
Yes,
even if you ain't playing. You sit on your couch like I am, and you sit in the guys, seeing guys hitting quarterbacks, you got to love it. You got to love it.
Cameron Young from Mississippi State will finish up this bag drill here for the first group of defensive linemen.
I'm going to tell you right now, these guys are starting to get tired too.
You feel it here?
Like the adrenaline that's going through your chest, through your body to be able to be prepared for this, it's tough on you, And so right now,
Calais Campbell's too freaking massive, man.
I did the 40, I did the first couple drills.
Stop for water. Stop for water. I'm tired for these guys.
Yeah, but you don't want to look tired. You want to look like you're in shape. You want to try to,
you're going to look tired. I'm sorry. You're going don't have to look tired. It is what it is.
What's up, everybody? Great to be here with you on NFL Plus. This is our NFL Plus Players Only Combine presented by Noble. Rhett Lewis, Dwight Freeney, Calais Campbell. Great opportunity to get some terrific insight on these drills and these prospects as they go through these drills and how they relate to the NFL. Well, we know how speed translates, right? So now let's get a look at some of the fastest 40s we saw here.
Yeah, Russell, I'm still going to drop the link.
Guys, we talked.
Can you guys hear me well, by the way?
Dude who went sub 5 and his sub 4.8, in fact, ran 4.78. Terrific 40 time there. This is Zach Pickens, was defensive lineman from South Carolina.
Do I sound well?
9.6 unofficial. So you're getting a look at all the guys who ran sub 5s right now. And this is your guy Javon Dexter right here, who ends up with a 4.93. 4.93.
I think he's gonna have an incredible career. I think he's got. I mean, you watch my tape. I haven't watched a lot of tape. I'm not a tape guy, but I watch Clemson play because I'm an ACC guy.
As you should.
And, the guy's a beast.
Jalen Redmond, nice work at 4.85, second fastest among this group. Guy with 14 sacks in his career at Oklahoma.
Mr. Russell, what is up, my friend?
What's happening, Nando? How are you, brother?
Elijah.
Doing good, man. Doing good. Just finally figured this out.
280 pounds, 290 pounds.
Oh, I know. NFL Plus is kind of a pain, man. I had nothing but trouble with it during the preseason, and I actually canceled it after a couple of weeks because I got tired of it. Because basically, I would load the video, and then it would keep freezing or kicking me out. So I just got tired of doing it.
Yeah, it's definitely not the best, man.
No.
Listen,
But I got it for free, so that's all I care about, man.
I get it. Might as well take advantage of it, man. Yeah, I'm real invested in watching these linebackers today. I like Overshawn. They've even had interviews with Trent Simpson and Noah Sewell. I like Noah. I feel like his draft stocks dropped for some reason, and I'm not really sure why. But I don't expect him to be there when we draft. But I'm looking more along the lines of, like I said earlier, Jack Campbell, I'm real high on, and this combine is going to be huge for him. What worries me is if he does really, really well, I'm just afraid it's going to drive him through the roof in terms of draft stock, and I think he's going to be unreachable at that point.
No, I agree. That's the only word with Campbell. The only thing keeping him so far down some people's boards is his athleticism. If he tears it up today, good for him, but bad for anyone who wants him on the Miami Dolphins, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Because right now I think he's projected to go mid-second round. I've seen him graded anywhere between like late 40s to mid 80s. I've done mock drafts where I've gotten him at the 84 pick. I don't know if he's really going to last that long. Like I said, it's really going to come down to his combine. But I'm real excited to see him. I'm also real excited to see Owen Papeo. He's very intriguing to me as a player, and I'm really curious to see how much the Dolphins really are intrigued by Trent Simpson. I don't know as much about him as a prospect.
I heard they met with him.
Yeah, they met with him, and he said that he really liked the team, and the team seemed to like him. So I don't really know much about the kid, so I hope to get some answers on him, at least from an athletic perspective, with the combine today.
Yeah, I know Wilkins and Trent Simpson are further removed, but maybe Wilkins can give us a little bit of insight on him, maybe a little bit of backdoor knowledge on some Clemson defensive points there. But I'd still be interested in Trent Simpson, man. Jack Campbell at 84 is pretty interesting. That could be like if you had like a bad combine, like if he ran like a 4.8 or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. If he runs a 4.5 or better, he's gonna, he's going.
He's gonna skyrocket. Yeah. No, that's crazy right there.
Because he's 6'4" and like 258. He's a massive linebacker. And so just to give you some insight on what I would do if I was the Dolphins general manager is instead of spending $18 to $20 million on Tremaine Edmonds, I'm going out and getting either A, Bobby Wagner, B, Levante David, or C, both of them. and then not worrying about drafting a linebacker because we have Channing Tindall behind them too, and we could focus on running backs, offensive linemen. Because honestly, if you ask me, I'm taking if Darnell Wright or if Dewan Jones are available at 51, I'm running to the podium for one of those two. That's because I'm on the opposite end of Chris Greer with Austin Jackson in this and Eichenberg. I'm over it. I think Austin Jackson needs to fight for his job. And if you bring in some 6'8", 360-pound monster with an 89.5-inch wingspan like DeJuan Jones, I'm going to say, good luck, AJ. You better work your tail off to win that job, brother. That's all I can say because that dude moves people with his arms without even taking a step. So I would go, me personally, if I was the GM, I would go get Levante David and Bobby Wagner, takes care of the linebackers. Then I'm taking a different approach. I'm going and getting Garrett Bradbury. I'm extending Connor Williams, and I'm making him my left guard. Offensive
Yeah,
line will be much improved with just moving one player, getting one in free agency, and drafting one. I think that it drastically improves not only the depth but the starting five. And then once that's done, if they can make it work, I would go get Jesse Bates over Jordan Poyer.
okay.
I would
Yeah, I'd
release
get Bates over Poyer too.
and then I would release Byron Jones. I would stick with the cornerback room that I have. And then I'm going and drafting Dewan Jones, Devin A. Chain, and Jack. And then we can even go get a corner somewhere in there if we want. But that's the route that I would take because we're taking care of the offensive line, we're taking care of the linebacker spot, and then the safety spot because everybody needs to realize this Fangio defense is a too high safety and it's predicated through middle linebacker and safety. Those are the two most important positions in this defense, and that's what we are lacking outside of Javon Holland.
Yeah, no, man. I like 93% of the stuff I agree with you, man. Like, I want a veteran middle linebacker. I don't want Tremaine Edmonds. Like, that's the 7%. I'd want Bobby or Levante David because I do want a right tackle in free agency. I do agree though. Screw Liam Eichenberg and Austin Jackson having two starting jobs. If they're fighting for starting jobs, I want them two fighting for one job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah,
want them to compete with each other. Draft
at
a
that
center
left
or a
guard
right
spot.
tackle. I'm down for that, but minimize the jobs that Eichenberg and Austin Jackson are fighting for. You know,
Yeah,
maybe even
I
fight
think
for sixth
Austin would
offensive
be
lineman.
better. Austin is going to be better served being a swing tackle. I think he would be a much better player with less responsibility on his plate, and he would get better with having without have because I get it. He's a first round draft pick, so he's got that over his head. And then, he's been on the team, he's suffered through injuries and everything else, and his play has been subpar at best. It's time for him to suck it up and either prove that he can be a depth piece or he needs to just be gone. And Chris Greer needs to accept that he's made a couple of mistakes and move on. And that's really my only issue with Greer right now. He's stubborn when it comes to his draft picks, and that is going to hold this team back. I feel like, and Mike McDaniel as a coach needs to put his foot down and say, "Hey, I'm done with this experiment. I want my guys here."
Yeah, hopefully this season, this off season, man, we're gonna be cleaning up some of those draft woes. Whether it's new draft guys, whether it's some fresh guys in the draft. Sorry, Siaki Ika's very impressive, man.
Oh yeah, he's one of my favorite um, D lineman prospects.
That was a
If
nice
we,
drill.
depending on what we address in free agency, if it's a best player available situation, and most of the targets that we were looking at are gone, he would be awesome to groom behind what we have. But I just think we're too set at the defensive line to really look at this position in this draft, to be honest, because even behind the names that you said, you had mentioned Bradley Chubb. We it sounds like we're keeping Ogball. I think AVG's gone. And I think it's because we're keeping Oddball. I also have heard that they're trying to bring back Melvin Ingram. If that happens, that D line is good. We really don't have. Oh, and Raekwon Davis.
What do you think of this
We
guy?
keep,
'Cause
that's the name that everybody keeps forgetting to mention because he's gonna get better.
Yeah, Raekwon Davis. I think as well. I don't think we're gonna get any of these D tackles, man. But it's fun to watch them perform in the combine. Hi, Ian Baller, by the way.
Hey, what's up, Nando? What's up, Russell?
What's up, man?
Hey, did y'all see that new NFLPA list
NFL Network, by the way, Damien.
of ranking like training facilities, food, travel,
yeah,
all that stuff? Dolphins are number 2. Let's go. That's
Yep,
well,
we're
Yeah, number
number
2,
2
baby.
out of 32 teams. Yes, and here's another difference that I think enough of us fans are not really bringing
I
to
love to see
people's
that.
attention is the fact that
care about our players.
we are finally a destination spot in the offseason, fellas.
Oh yeah,
We
there's
have
people
players
talking
who
about
want to
us.
be here, and I believe players will take less money because they can because of the taxes. And I think that they know this is why I think Bobby Wagner is the perfect fit. He literally left the Rams because he knows that they're done. He wants to go to a contender where he can win. We're right there, fellas. I think Bobby in a aqua and orange uniform would be absolutely fantastic because, in my opinion, I think he's the best middle linebacker in the game still.
I wouldn't say he's the best, but I would definitely would want him. But it's also the price. Like, how much are you going to pay for him? I'm not going to overpay for him, even though he's still that dude. Like, he's still great.
I think he's going to warrant 8 to 10 mil a year. And I
wouldn't do
this
over
is my
10.
thing.
10 would be the max. I would do 9 to
10's
10.
the max, yeah.
Yeah,
I would do 9 to
that's
10.
fine because honestly, I don't think it's going to come down to his actual salary. I think it's going to come down to a signing bonus. And that's where Ross comes in handy because that man doesn't have a problem writing checks, fellas.
Let's go.
And it also comes down to what the DC does he want to play for. He's definitely going to want to play for Vic Fangio. Come on.
What
Oh, yeah.
defensive
That's an easy
player
interview right
doesn't
there.
want to
Easy.
play for? I mean,
Easy,
Jordan
man.
Poyer's basically begging to be a Miami Dolphin right now.
Oh yeah, he is. And there's some Miami Dolphins fans not wanting him. I actually really like him because even though Jesse Bates is better, he's going to cost more. Same thing with the other safety. I can't remember his name, but Jordan Poyer's not going to cost that much. Oh,
you talking about Von Bell?
No, I wasn't talking about Von Bell, but he is another safety that could be a free agent.
That Poyers has his first Pro Bowl this year, like, and is age 30, 31. Does it concern you? And do you think it'll like cause his price to go up a bit or not really?
Okay, so this is where I'm at.
I don't know why this is his first. He should have been made the Pro Bowl. He's been for a while.
He's a very good player. I think the issue with Poyer is everybody's looking at his injuries from this past season, and everybody forgets that this is his first year of really having devastating injuries that made him lose or made him unavailable for games. Yes, the other growing factor is the fact of his age, but this is the thing. The Miami Dolphins are in a win-now mode. Age shouldn't matter. It's about getting the best player. And that's where my pushback is because I would rather because Fangio signed a 4-year deal with 3 years guaranteed. He runs that too high safety. What better thing to give him?
Name a better duo to Javon Holland and Poyer.
Or Jesse Bates and Javon Holland, because those two
I'm down for both those guys.
I'm down for either guy, but I would prefer
that's the
Poyer
position I think
because he would cost less. But like you said, money's not an issue, but still.
Exactly, and that's my thing is he's also 25 years old, which means that you have your safety duo for the next decade, as long as you re-sign Javon Holland, which I already know that dude's getting re-signed.
Yeah, but we don't have to worry about that yet. He's still got some years.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying you can have a safety duo for the next decade, or you can have a safety duo for the next 3 years. You can go
especially
either
if Brandon
way.
Jones improves his coverage skills, because you're going to have Poyer for 1 to 2 years, maybe 3, but probably 2 years.
I've got a theory on Brandon Jones, and this is actually going to affect a completely different player because I think Brandon Jones will be the third safety and stay as the third safety on this defense, and I think he's going to be packaged in places where Jerome Baker was used.
Yeah, I think
And I
he'll be
think
that type of player, especially if we get another
I
safety like a Poyer, like a Von Bell, like a
I actually
Bates.
like Jerome Baker, but I think his time might be up. They might try to move off of him
Big
Yeah,
because
but
they can use Brandon
Yeah.
Jones in that role.
Doesn't Vic Fangio run a lot of 3-4? Jerome Baker could be one that could be
Weak
a sideline to
side.
sideline
What is that, Chuck
linebacker,
Deshaun?
while we have a better middle linebacker like a Bobby Wagner, like
Well, that's what I make. That's why I said go get both him and Levante David because Levante David has played inside and outside linebacker.
I don't know if I would
And
get two. I would re-sign Landon Roberts to a 1-year vet minimum just for depth, and I would get that one big middle linebacker, the big free agent push.
I'm mostly saying that because you can literally get both those players for the price of a Tremaine Edmonds. So if they are in any inclination of trying to go after Tremaine Edmonds, I think it's better to pay the price for two outstanding leaders because this is the big thing, the big difference between Tremaine Edmonds and Levante David and Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner and Levante David are veterans who are leaders of their defenses. Tremaine Edmonds never had to be that. It's Matt Milano's defense in Buffalo.
Yeah, but
So that's
I wouldn't.
something we haven't seen from Tremaine Edmonds to warrant that kind of money. He's
Yeah,
got
but
to
I
be a
don't think.
difference maker.
Yeah, I don't think David and Wagner would be the price of one Edmonds, though. I think Edmonds would be around 14 to 15, and if that's his price range, I'd rather pick one Levante David or one Bobby Wagner, and maybe sign another middle linebacker, not as pricey. But
Well,
don't forget,
here's
everyone forgets that we still got
Offensive
Tyndall,
line.
well,
I
yeah,
think he's got a lot of
Oh,
potential.
Tyndall too. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Well, that's why I
here's
want
the
vets,
issue
man.
with
I want the veterans to teach Channing Tyndall, man. Which
And
is
I
why I don't
think-
know if we should add someone in the draft.
And I do
because
think
it's like
Tyndall
teaching two
has
guys.
I do think Tyndall has the athleticism of a Jerome Baker while being pretty good as a.
be the bearer of bad museum baller, but I think Tremaine Edmonds is going to get more than 14, and I'm going to tell you why. Number
I'm
one,
saying 15. I'll say 15. I think he'll get.
his camp, I'm hearing out of his camp, it's 17 to 20 because the franchise tag for him is 20.
Yeah, but
I think he's going to get 18 to 20 million from
you don't
somebody.
think he would do 15 or 16 to go to Miami?
He might, but I don't know because I think if we could pay 10 mil to Levante and 10 mil to Bobby, I think that 20, like I said, it's all about signing bonuses, man. I think they can even make it team friendly contracts with those types of players. See, if we go get a Tremaine Edmonds, we're stuck in a long term contract that's probably going to have guarantees and all this other stuff that are involved. And I feel like we have too many players to concern ourselves with adding that when we've already got to restructure players like Tyreek Hill, Bradley Chubb, Teron Armstead, like anybody we can restructure to get money to make us competitive in free agency. I think making it worse down the road because we've got Wilkins we have to extend. We've got Connor Williams that is going to need to be extended. Tua possibly will be extended. I mean, we are Waddle, Javon. We are going to run into Jalen Phillips. We have too many young players to re-sign to keep together to be able to go after big, pricey, elongated contracts. Like, for example, the Ndamukong Suh contract. I feel like, no, he's not going to get that kind of money, but it's the general point of the matter is I feel like you can do a 2-3 year deal with Bobby Wagner and Levante David, like a 3-year deal, and then with the third year being optional with the team out on the deal, where you're going to be doing 5 years or more with Tremaine Edmonds just simply because of his age, so you have him under contract, and it gets a little dicey with the cap. That's my view on it.
Yeah, that's why I'm not the biggest proponent on getting Edmonds. I would get like a Wagner on a 2-year deal with a third being that option. And then I would get Poyer, 2-year deal with an out after the first year. But if he plays very well, we won't need to worry about that out. And then, Levante David, I like Levante David, but I think I would get just one of those linebackers and then get that
For
other
Wagner.
safety and then other fillers.
I like Bobby a lot more than I do Levante David. And
That's why I keep saying
that's
Bobby.
no
I like
shun
Bobby.
on Levante David because he's an excellent player, but Bobby is out of this world.
Yeah. Bobby Wagner is still that dude as a middle
He had
linebacker.
140 tackles this past season, and he's like 33 years old. That dude is
He's
not
the
slowing
30th
down.
ranked player in the NFL, man. Like,
And
And he's a perfect fit for this defense.
and
Like,
he would be a
amazing.
leader. He would lead this defense. It would be awesome to see.
He'd bring that Super Bowl level veteran presence, man. Like the leader
Yeah.
of the Legion of Boom coming here.
He would be our Fred Warner.
Whew,
Essentially,
that'd be golden, man. And then it just makes the entire offense better to practice against that level of like veteran to commanding the defense. Come on, bro. Like the better both sides of the ball get, the better they improve each other, bro.
yep. I mean, Vic Fangio is already going to make Tua and Mike McDaniel better.
Just by showing them different looks on that type of defense.
And he's going to push them really hard. And here's the other thing. If they don't get 2 linebackers in free agency, they're still drafting one because they have no choice but to double dip. All we've got is Channing Tindall and Jerome Baker. That's essentially what we have at linebacker right now.
Do you guys want to draft one?
I would draft one. I wouldn't draft one with the second round pick, but I would draft one third, fourth round.
No, the third round is more what I'm looking at, man.
Yeah, that's kind of where
fourth round, that'd be nice.
I depending on where they go free agency, if they're going the way that I think they're going to go, I think their first pick's going to be a running back.
Depends on the running back. If Mike McDaniel is in love with that running back, he'll take him. If not,
If
then
Devin A. Chain's there or Jamari Gibbs is there, they're taking a running
Jamari
back.
Gibbs is not going to be there. I'm thinking.
I don't think so either.
I'm
but
thinking more of that.
Charbonnet.
That running back from UCLA. I forgot his name.
Charbonnet. Chad Charbonnet.
Oh, Zach
There's
Charbonnet,
them
okay.
too. Yep. I think they would also take an extensive look at Tank Bigsby as well. Zach
I think you're
Evans.
gonna pick 84.
Zach Evans is another running back. Honestly, when it comes to this running back class, it is deep. I mean, you got Bijan Robinson, Jamari Gibbs, Zach Evans, Devin A. Chain. You've got Tank Bigsby. What's that one kid? I can't.
Dwayne McBride.
It's Annie Wanda. I can't pronounce his name. It's like it's a really weird name. I can't think of the kid's name. I think he's from
right now.
I think he's from TCU, maybe. Anybody in the comments? It's Abney something. Oh,
the guy
God,
from TCU is last name Miller. So
no, that's not. That's not who I'm thinking of. You're gonna know that it's very distinctive.
TCU is Kendry Miller. I know that.
Okay,
but I'm looking right now for the name. Oh, Israel.
About the A&M running
Abi Nikanda.
Yes, that dude. I'm telling you right now, do not overlook that kid. Watch his film.
I love the name already.
Oh, dude, he is phenomenal. Yeah, he's a very underlooked running back in this class, and I mean, I only named a handful of them, and they're solid running back.
Sean
prospects.
Tucker out of Syracuse, love him.
Yes, I mean, there's another one. I mean, this draft is not meant for the first round this year. It is meant for rounds 2, 3, and 4. That is where your best talent is going to be for the best value.
And I think Greer saw that in advance, and he was playing 4D chess.
Yup.
Now, it didn't help us losing one of our first round picks, but when he traded for Chubb, he knew this draft was later.
There's a lot more value in the later rounds. I agree. Like you look at that board, like I'm a little sad that I don't get to participate in the first round mock draft madness, but at the same time, I'm okay with it. For the guys we were getting in the 20s and the 30s, you can get almost as good players at picks 52.
Yes,
so let's go for
it. And cup half full. If there was going to be a year to lose a first round pick, this was the year to lose it. Cup half full, fella.
Now that A&M running back, I will tell you, when he finds that hole, he's got that burst of speed. He could take he could make big gains. Mike McDaniel would love him. The only concern I have with him is he's an inconsistent pass blocker. So,
Well,
back?
here's the thing. Mike McDaniel doesn't ask his running backs to pass block very much. The thing that they need to be able to do is run wide zone runs, be able to run in between the tackle, and be able to catch the ball in open field and be a receiving threat. That's really what we need.
yeah,
A
but
dual
when Mike
threat running
McDaniel
back.
uses different running backs, if we draft this guy and we have him on the field, they know it's going to be a run most likely. So you got to block a little bit better. That's my own concern with the dude. But as a runner, I mean, he's phenomenal.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins double dip with linebackers and double dip with running backs. They're going to have to do both.
So let's get more picks. Would you guys want to trade back? Like trade back a little bit in the second round, get a couple, maybe third, fourth?
I think we got a
It
couple of thirds,
depends.
don't we?
We've
that?
only got one. We've got a second round, a third round, a fourth round, and a sixth and a seventh. We do not have a fifth.
I don't think we have a fourth rounder, right? I think
No,
it's
no. It's
52,
you're right.
77,
You're,
84, two,
yes.
2 and the thirds.
It's 178 and then like 240.
It's like, no, it's worse, bro. It's 190, I think. It's like very end of the sixth round. And
Okay.
then like
So
seventh
yeah,
round.
we don't have a fourth or fifth round.
Yeah.
Really, the main three picks we're looking at is 51, 77, and 84. Those are really going to be any type of game plug. If you're going to have any kind of plug and play, it's going to be with your second round. You might have a plug and play with your third if you draft really well. Get
Good running
lucky.
back, maybe.
I wouldn't be
Yeah.
too opposed to trading back, but it all depends on who's there in the second round. There
Yeah.
could be some guys I'm going to fall in love with, and
And
with the
that
Dolphins.
right there is why I want them to, if they're there, that's why I want them to go after right tackle, because tackle is a premium position, and if you get a really good tackle in the second round, that is a win-win.
You don't think? Wait. Oh, I don't mind getting. I was thinking. Never mind. I don't mind getting a right tackle in the second round, but you have to get either one left guard or one right tackle, a good one in free agency, and then draft the other position.
Well, I personally don't know I don't know what they're going to do. I know Mike McGlinchey's being thrown around. I'm not huge on his pass pro. He's average.
Because Reason did mention he's above average. I think he's an average pass blocker, to be honest.
I think so too. He's above average in run blocking.
I mean, there's no debate, but still, like you need to be more. I think we need to get more balanced.
If you want a solid right tackle in free agency, unfortunately, you're going to be spending money on Jawan Taylor, because I think he's the best option at that position.
But I wouldn't spend too much money on him. That's why I like a Dalton Reisner at left guard, and then draft a right tackle, and then let Eichenberg, Jackson, and Shell, and who you draft compete at right tackle.
Yeah, because my right tackle, who I would draft, is either Darnell Wright or DeJuan Jones. Either one of those two, I would be absolutely thrilled with. I don't know if either one are going to be there. I'm starting to think neither one will be. See, DeJuan Jones, when they do the O-line, this combine is going to be very important too, because they question his athleticism for his size. Because some people are under the impression that he's not a scheme fit here. I'm from Ohio, so unfortunately I've gotten stuck seeing way too many Ohio State games. He's got some good footwork. He's got some open field moves where he can do what he's got to do. He can pull. I mean, he can do a lot of things. So I think if he has a big combine, he's probably going round one. Just off of sheer profile.
Especially for the scheme fit, I get what you're saying. He's got decent footwork, but there's other O-linemen that I would prefer drafting over him. In this scheme, though, like if you're a power gap
Darnell Wright would be a better scheme fit. Darnell Wright would probably be our best scheme fit for right tackle, but I don't know if he's going to be there either. It's gonna get interesting, fellas. I'm really excited to see how they approach free agency, because that's gonna tell us a lot more what they're gonna do in the draft. I mean, we're
exactly it.
So I mean,
it's our first.
We got to get through this process with combine, and then man, free agency can't get here any faster. I can't believe I
March
get
15th,
so
right?
excited over off-season stuff.
Hey Russell,
Because
do
they
you have any
always
thoughts?
want it.
Do you have any thoughts on the North Dakota State tackle that has 2 front
Cody,
teeth?
Cody Mock.
Cody
Yeah.
Mach.
Um,
I think I like
that
him more now that I know
like
he
him in
has
the
2 missing
scheme.
teeth, man.
he's already risen his draft profile to the fact that he's now listed as the 5th best tackle in this draft.
I like
Considering
him.
how
He's a
weak that position is,
zero-star prospect.
I would say I would draft him as high as the 2nd round, but
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know
what
if
I'm
I would.
saying.
I
Second
don't
round,
know if
if
I
he's
would take
there.
him at 51. I would like to. If we're going to make a move like that, I'm kind of backing down into the 60s if possible, getting some more draft capital for this draft or next year, either one, and then picking him up in like the mid 60s range. I'm not sure how I feel about picking him up in the 50s like
Yeah,
that.
I'm a little
I
higher on
don't
him.
know
I
if
would pick him in our 2nd round pick if he's there, but obviously we'll see who's there at the time because I didn't think Leo Chenal would be there, and he was there, and we picked Tyndall. Now I like Tyndall, but I like Leo Chenal better because he was more ready to play.
I think most of us did because and it showed in
For
the
Kansas,
season
yeah,
this
man.
past year. Yeah, I mean it showed. Just like
Yeah,
I
but he was also
also
more ready to play though. But
I was real high on Nick Bolton and look at the things he's doing in Kansas City.
yeah, and I was actually pretty
Bolton's
high on
balling
Darius
in Kansas
Leonard, and
City.
he's a pretty
Jeez.
good player. I mean, we'll see.
I think there's still time to see how it all unfolds, man. I'd be down for Cody Mach. I didn't know he was rising as high as the 2nd round. I'd seen him going in like mid 3rd round. You know, I love the toothless wonder, man. I didn't know he had.
He's getting memed pretty
2 missing
hard.
teeth.
Maybe that's why he's rising up.
I'd seen all the pictures of him with the straight face, and I like the story of him being a 0-star prospect, like being a walk-on tight end, putting on weight to become an offensive lineman, and now he's balling. I didn't know he was missing 2 front teeth until I saw a random meme about it, man. And I think it makes me want him more, though. You know, he'll be hungry.
Because who else didn't have 2 front teeth? Didn't Jack Lambert not have 2 front teeth?
That's
I
legendary.
think
bro.
yeah, I think so.
Exactly. You're a badass if you don't have 2 front teeth.
1,000%, man. I'll be sad the day he gets it eventually fixed. You know what I'm saying? Like when he gets his big payday as a future Miami Dolphin.
Builds character.
Builds character. That's what I'm saying. He's probably he's a hard-working dude when you have that kind of backstory too. And that's what I need from my offensive lineman right now. Get a grinder in the room. Spur a little Eichenberg and Austin Jackson to wake up and compete
get
for
some
one spot.
toughness and some meanness on that offensive line.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Have Cody Mach walk in and be like, I will stick you 2 right up here in my teeth right now. If you guys don't shape up.
And he's also an incredible run blocker now. It was lower competition, but still, like, he's got that mean streak when I watch this film. So we'll see.
So
this is toughness. Mean streak is mean streak, man. Down for it.
Now that I'm up here with you, Nando, I wanted to tell you a little bit about Dorian Thompson-Robinson's draft profile. So what they're saying
there
about
we go
is basically he's very twitchy. He can throw off platform. He can throw at different arm angles. He can also throw accurately off his back foot. The other thing is he is a true dual threat quarterback. I'm curious to see what his 40 is going to be. He is raw. That's why I think 7th round pick would be perfect. If he makes it that far, I could actually see him going as high as the 5th because of the intangibles. A lot of people aren't talking about this kid, and I've really kind of locked in on him because everybody's, talking Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers. I'm not talking about replacing Tua. I'm talking about finding a replacement for Skyler because, to be completely honest, yes, I know the kid is a rookie, but he's 25 years old. He's the oldest rookie that is in the NFL. His time frame for becoming a guy that can be depended on is very short. I would much rather have, yes, you already have, inexperience with Skyler. Well, why not just take a little bit less experience, but higher intangibles? That would be my competition for Skyler, because this kid, I've seen some of the throws he's made. I've seen his pocket presence isn't terrible either. I've seen him get out of some pretty sticky situations. I've watched a lot of film on the kid. That's why I'm so high on him. what else is interesting is the fact that he's not much bigger than Tua. I believe he's like 6'1", 6'2", and about
6'1",
200.
yeah.
Yeah, he's like
And I think
220.
Skyler is 6'2", and people make a big deal out. He's so much bigger than
Yeah, he's
Tua. Like, he's
6'2".
not
He's
that much
really
bigger.
not much bigger than Tua.
Exactly.
So I feel like even though he's right-handed, they have a similar build. So I feel like it would be an easier transition as a backup QB, because I feel like he would also be able to run a little bit more style offense that Tua does. The other thing that they stated in his draft profile is the fact that he has the ability to fit NFL tight window throws. He's done it. And that's huge. That's the big thing for me is his on ball percentage, on throw percentage in terms of catchable ball, in terms of being in that tight window, and he's really good at it. And I think the kid's being overlooked. But if you ask me, and I'm going to keep this short because I don't really want to talk quarterback, I'm actually the
You're getting
outlier.
people riled up.
My favorite quarterback in this draft is probably going to be an Indianapolis Colt, and his name is Will Levis. That dude is unreal,
Mayo
and
boy.
I'm telling you right now, he's probably going to be legit. And if he goes to the Colts, which overall they've had some rough stints here in the last few years, but they are a well-respected organization for the most part. I think they're going to make the most out of a player like that, just like they did with Peyton, just like they did with Andrew Luck. He has the capability of entering that realm if he puts his best foot forward and everything clicks for him in the NFL. I actually like him more than CJ Stroud. I like him more than Bryce Young. I like him more than pretty much anybody in terms of quarterback in this draft.
Yeah, we'll see. I disagree with that. I think Bryce Young is the number one quarterback. I do got Will Levis over CJ Stroud, but I
Yeah,
think
I got
Bryce Young
people
is.
talk,
Bryce
people
Young.
talk about
I think
Tua
Bryce Young
being
is a
small. Bryce
MVP.
Young's tiny.
Yeah, but size don't matter to me much to me if you can make the throws. Like Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is small, but he's so freaking talented. But the only reason he hasn't been that next up superstar is because his work ethic. I got no problems for Bryce Young's work ethic.
Yeah, Kyler Murray's extremely immature. I would agree with that. I like the kid as a player, but he's got a lot to learn
Boss
as
man,
being.
dude, what is up?
Yeah, I think Bryce Young can be special, and I think Will Levis could be very good, but I just think Bryce Young is in a tier of his own, but we'll see. I mean, it's all projections right now. But there was a new mock draft that had Anthony Richardson at number 1, and I'm like, I do not agree with that. I just don't
He's
see
also a raw project. He's going to need time to
very raw.
develop.
And I was telling people this when people wanted
combine
to draft
season,
Willis from Liberty. I was like, this dude is super raw. He shouldn't play a single game his rookie year.
It showed in Tennessee.
Yeah. And it showed against Georgia, like he got benched.
Boss man Ron, how's it going? Yeah, dude, it's wild, bro. With Anthony Richardson, it's combine season. I think that's why he's rising up. People want to be like have that trendy mock draft right before he runs a 4.5.
I was just talking about, like with Dorian Thompson-Robinson, man. I mean, I just feel like he's kind of in a similar boat. The only reason why he's more recognized is where he plays. UCLA doesn't get a lot of coverage like the SEC does. And I'm an SEC guy. I actually am a Gators fan. I know. I believe it or not, I'm weird. I actually like the Gators and the U. I know that's kind of not allowed, but I like.
Don't worry, I'm a Longhorns fan who's also a Dolphins fan, so whatever.
So I know that ruffles feathers between the two because there's a rivalry a little bit. I am not a Seminoles fan, but I definitely like both the Gators and the U. I think that's really why there's a big contrast between some of these guys is just where they played. Obviously, they get a lot more exposure. But I believe he is simply just as raw as some of these other guys, as mentioned previously, like a Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I mean, I could be completely wrong about that kid, but I've just got this weird feeling about Dorian. I don't know why. I just feel like he might surprise some people if he can make it all click in the NFL.
Now, if I'm a team like the
I like that.
Lions and I got Jared Goff starting another year or two, I would definitely draft Anthony Richardson early.
That's a spot for somebody like that. It's got to be
Yes.
a Jordan Love situation or even a Trey Lance situation where you're going to be sitting behind a guy for at least a year minimum, and you're going to have the time to learn and improve the nuances of the game.
And one thing I was seeing on Facebook for the longest is that people were doing these Miami mock drafts, and then I saw so many mocking Hendon Hooker to the Miami. I'm like, what's the point? He's older, if not as old as Kyler Thompson. We got a starting quarterback. Like, I just don't. Some of these Dolphins
And
fans.
injury to
And he's
I like Hendon
injured,
Hooker as a player,
so most
but, like,
likely he'll play at 26 years old.
yeah, I know it's a player, just not for my Dolphins.
Yeah, he's an all right quarterback. You know, I like him, but for the Dolphins and for like in the second round, like heck no. I want a starter in the second round. A guy who could start in the second round.
No, exactly. Like, I could see Hendon Hooker maybe like a team like the Lions if they're like, yo, we don't want to spend a first round and let's get a second round QB and play him next year when Goff's done, you know. But I don't want them for the Dolphins.
Yeah, if the Lions
That's
took Hendon Hooker in the second round, that'd be good too, you know.
not for the Dolphins though. You're right. If we don't have a first rounder, especially more stress on having a second rounder who actually starts, you know.
But I think we
Please.
could find a second rounder who starts, you know, like if we draft a right tackle or a left guard or a middle linebacker that could share snaps here and there. But we'll see.
I hope so, man. Oh. When is this combine thingy returning? Come on. Hello, Ron, by the way. But why is the combine not returned? I'm trying to see if it's not on my phone either.
Do y'all think we'll get another corner? Because I'm seeing a lot of Dolphins fans wanting to trade for Jalen Ramsey, and I just don't see it, especially in this new system. Like, why would we get another high-priced cornerback in a system that doesn't play a lot of man-to-man?
So maybe if Fangio wants to rock with it, I'm down. But I'd rather get someone in the draft, either Garrett Williams at 52, even though that's coming from injury. That's a little Syracuse bias coming in for me. But, dude, if Khalil Ringo, I've seen sometimes falling in the third round. Like, there's some pretty good corners you can get in round 3 as well.
Yeah, I would draft one, you know, and obviously Kahu would compete with them. Nick Needham would compete with them, and obviously get rid of Byron Jones. But yeah, turning for Jalen Ramsey, like we need a middle linebacker, we need another safety, we need offensive linemen. Why are you going to spend all that money on another corner? And spend draft picks. You're going to trade away draft picks to get Ramsey.
At least a second and a third, maybe 2 seconds. That's a lot.
Exactly, that's a lot, especially for us.
Then we're left with like 4 picks this year, a third. Not even. Then we're left with 2/3, a fifth, and a sixth. No, 2/3, a sixth, and a seventh. What a great draft. No, bro, we need some more life in us. Although it could be fun seeing Ramsey and Howard paired together. Like, I'd rather get a young guy in the draft.
Yeah, I would rather get a young guy in the draft than him compete, because we got some young corners that have potential, including Drew Williams. He's another guy that we didn't get to see anything because he got injured early, but he had potential. He showed flashes in the, before the training camp. So
I was so excited. Like, I went to Syracuse my freshman year, so like I have a bit of a Syracuse bias. But like I literally had Trill Williams sign my hat, and like 2-3 days later he tore his ACL, and I was so sad, man. I thought Super Trill was gonna go off. I thought we were gonna see some little orange man magic. And now we've got to wait for year 3. But he's 6'6'1", like 200 pounds, man. The physical corner. Him and Cater could both thrive. Like Cater, who is a little bit feistier, I would love to see him play well. But Trill Williams could be that big boy on the outside. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, like if Trill Williams is as good as we think he is, he could start on the outside. Cater could play this mostly a slot or whatever. You could switch them vice versa. And Nick Needham is there for depth or whatever. But it all depends on who wins what job. But yeah, you got competition at cornerback. And if you add another one, you got even more competition. Yeah,
so I don't think so. So you'd be also on that vein of no Ramsey. Go for the younger guys, either the guys we already have.
I love
compete them.
Ramsey as a player, and he's got that mean streak. I love his attitude, what he stands for, but no, I would not trade picks and give him money to get him. And like Russell said, we got to pay Wilkins. We got to pay Sealer. He's another one. We got to pay, not Tua yet. We're not going to pay Tua yet, but we got to pay I don't think we're playing AVG. Who's another guy we got to pay? Oh, yeah, Connor Williams. We got to pay Connor Williams.
There's contracts coming down next year, coming down the pipeline. Like it's time to prepare. You know, I'm down to go younger.
Prepare. So add another cheap corner, but do not add a Ramsey. Like I don't see the point. Now, if we were running a man-to-man scheme and Flores was our defensive coordinator, that'd be something different. But Fangio's our guy, and he relies heavily on 2 safeties, that middle linebacker, and a D line. We got a D line. We need another safety. We need a middle linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, you have so many positions. Like, dang. I don't know how high corner is that priority.
No, we also need a new punter, fellas. I know that's a small thing on the list, but we need a new punter.
Why we need a new punter? I thought he played pretty good. Really good.
Thomas Morstead retired.
Oh, he did. Dang, I didn't see that. Oh, man.
What?
I'm pretty sure he did. Go double check me.
Google that, Mando, and keep that hat on just in case.
But I'm pretty sure he's going to retire or has retired.
He's pretty old, man.
I mean, if he retired, I would have gotten the news because I get Dolphins news pop up.
It still says isn't not former on his Wikipedia, so that's my first sign. My computer's a little slow right now. I'm trying to type.
I know we haven't re-signed him. If he is available, but I could have swore he said something about retiring. He wanted to spend more time with his family.
Okay.
I honestly think it might have even been a tweet. I don't remember.
Dolphin Nation said February 22nd that it seems he's coming back for his 15th season. So hopefully.
Oh, then that's new because I heard this about.
Yeah, I was trying to say the most recent article.
Okay, yeah. When I heard this about Thomas Morstead, it was like at the end of the season.
You scared me a little, bro.
Oh. I'm just saying. That's what I was hearing.
Yeah, we're gonna sign him to a new deal. 1 year.
I hope so.
Yeah, because he was way better than Pilardi and way better than Hawks. So yeah.
And honestly, he's a good locker room guy too.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. That's why we signed him in the first place. He can still punt at his age, and he's a leader.
I'm all about
he's a great leader, man. Oh, wow. I was false alarm. A little scary for a second.
I'm just saying. I could have swore he said something about retiring, but I mean it was like right after the season ended. This wasn't February. This was more like January.
I saw in January. I said a couple articles where they were questioning because they hadn't heard anything from him. So that's why he filtered like most recent.
Okay.
I don't know how accurate that is, but there seems to be some. At least it seems like he hasn't retired yet. So
okay, good. That's good news for us.
So if you guys think that corner, we've got a lot of young guys in house, and maybe it's not the highest priority.
It's really not.
And we got Noah Brown. We haven't even talked about him, man.
Yeah, we got a pretty deep corner room. Adding another one, I wouldn't mind, but yeah.
I don't think
like we're running back instead.
If we have X, Cater, Trill, Nick Needham, even if we re-sign Justin Bethel back for depth, we're also going to be stuck with Igbenogany for one more season because of salary cap, because he's going to cost too much in dead cap. It doesn't make sense.
I don't know about that. I mean, I would keep him because of that. But if I know Fangio, if Noah's not playing to his standard, he's going to be like, I need this guy cut. So he's going to.
Well, the issue with that is it's like $3 or $4 million in dead cap, and
that's why I wouldn't cut him. But Vic Fangio, he's no nonsense. He's not going to keep a guy that doesn't deserve to be on a team, though.
Hey, if anybody's going to get the most out of that kid, it's going to be Vic.
That's why I think we should keep him through training camp and see if any light bulb shows anything.
But we have plenty of depth, so we got hit with the injury bug. it happening 2 years in a row would blow my mind, especially at the same position. I mean, I'm sure there's crazier things that have happened in this world,
Not the
but
same thing because we won't have Byron Jones saying, I might play, I might not play. We'll see.
that dude's a liar. I
He-
don't care what everybody says. Everybody can have their own opinion. I'm sorry. This is where I'm at with Byron Jones. He is a lying, fake troll, and all he wants is to go to Minnesota and play with Flores. That's all that's about.
I think I would not be surprised if he goes to Minnesota
I wouldn't either.
because
I wouldn't be
that's
Because he
surprised.
doesn't want.
I don't know
He
if he
did this
lied, but I
to
wouldn't be
not get
surprised.
traded. He did this. He said those things on Twitter so he would not get traded. He wants to choose where he wants to go.
Yeah, that's the reason why he said it, I believe, is that he doesn't have a lot of value right now, but he said it because no one's going to trade for him now. Nothing.
No.
So he wants to get
Nope.
cut.
Yep.
And he wants to choose. And I think the Vikings are definitely an option.
Yeah. And they need cornerback help.
Oh, yeah, they definitely do. And if Flores vouches for Byron Jones, then the Vikings are going to get him because Vikings Nation loves Flores. And I love Flores as DC. I think he's going to be an awesome DC for the Vikings. So, yeah.
But yeah, I don't have very good feelings towards Byron Jones. I feel like he's done the team really dirty, and I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, same here. And I do agree what Reason said. Like at a couple, some more guaranteed money, his injuries would have evaporated before our very eyes. So
I believe it.
Yeah. So yeah, he did us a little dirty. So
But
he didn't pull a Will Fuller. Everyone's comparing him to Will Fuller. No, Will Fuller was here 1 year, didn't really play at all. At least Byron Jones gave us a couple of good seasons. But yeah, the last year,
I'm thanking him on his way out, man.
In my mouth.
Sour taste in my mouth, man. A little bit rubbed funny, but at the end of the day, man, at least you put in some work. You put in some blood, sweat, and tears, Mr. Byron Jones. So
yeah, but we didn't have
an
offense when he was playing, though. But we had an offense now, and he didn't play. Like, can we have a good offense when he plays?
Please. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, if Fangio had sat here and like if Byron, if this hadn't happened with Byron, if Fangio had sat here and said, like, look, we sat there, we talked as a team, I sat with the man myself, we're all good, bro. We're playing next year. I would have been totally fine with Byron Jones on the squad. But it wasn't to be, bro. You know, it's
now if
I would him or not.
I would keep him if he takes a pay cut.
I would hope that would have been part of that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Fangio's like, hey, you know,
play for me, stay here for
sorry, guys.
Another year.
Sorry, I got to address Cap for life in the chat. They did confirm Miami's medical staff as competent because they got an A- rating and was one of the highest rating medical staffs in the entire NFL.
But you know what Cap's going to say? That's all
I know.
Speculation. You know, he likes to dunk on our medical staff.
It's a bunch of BS. Byron's the one that I truly feel like he's the one lying.
Love you, Cap.
Because here's the thing.
I've
seen video of this man running and jumping just a few weeks back. Like, get out of here with that nonsense.
Yeah, he was hurt, but he also prolonged coming back for a long time. It's like, oh, I'm still a little sore. It's like a Kawhi Leonard what he pulled on the Spurs. He was injured, but he's like, yeah, I don't feel right now.
If the Dolphins were going to get sued, it would have been for forcing him to play.
Yeah, and we didn't force him to play, you know.
That's exactly why we didn't get him on the field.
You know, we had conversations, and when he was ready to play, he'll play.
Mike McDaniel was under the impression he was going to be ready week 1.
Yeah,
that's the other context of this, because there's no reason for him to believe that if there was a medical problem.
Yeah, that's the only thing that confused me. Like, did Byron Jones say he was good to go week 1, and then he said he had a setback, or I don't know what he told McDaniel at that time. But obviously, when the season went through, Mike McDaniel was like, "I'm tired of talking about this. He's not ready to go yet." So,
yeah, definitely not the coolest situation, man. I wonder if we'll ever know when it actually happened. You know,
we will once he's released.
That's true.
That's when the truth will come out. I mean,
Or if he
if
actually
you
retires.
here's some more tea leaves for you. Mike McDaniel's press conference during the combine relating to the Byron Jones topic. He literally said that Byron Jones is the conductor of this train.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
Yeah, he decides when he wants to come back. That's exactly what he said without even saying it like what I said.
He's got the Dolphins in a very tough position. Period.
Yeah,
And
he
we've
took a
had enough
roster
of that crap. Yeah, and we've had enough.
he took a
We've
roster
had enough issues
on
with
someone else.
players and coaches on this team.
Yeah, could have used maybe on another corner or something, but I don't know. But yeah, they didn't put him on IR because he thought he was going to be back. If he didn't feel comfortable, just say put me on IR to start the season. Like what? But they didn't because they thought he'd be back. That's my biggest problem with Byron Jones is that even though they said they communicated with him, I don't think it was much communication, and he said what they wanted to hear.
Yeah, that's all I know for sure, man, is that they definitely was a bad case of communication on both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know who fucked it up, but there was definitely they were not on the same page. Like, whether it was on purpose or not, but like it was not on the same page, man. Which sucks because it changed the whole planning of the team.
Yes, it did. I think it affected this team this past season for sure, without a doubt, because it definitely affected X. Between that and the injuries, he didn't play the same this year. And you really don't think that not having Byron on the other side of the field had anything to do with it because he wasn't able to do the things that he's really really elite at, which is eyeballing that quarterback and making him think he's somewhere he's not, and spying and doing the things that he's he's not good at running with players with a freaking groin injury. It's not going to work. And it really did affect the way he played and not. I think he started to gain some confidence in Cater as the season went on, and if everybody realized this, X did get better as the season progressed. So I think him and Cater had to build a relationship together, and that was part of the problem. So Byron set that side of the field back big time.
And not only did it affect X, but also affected Javon Holland. Like they made Javon Holland do different things that he wasn't planning on doing because they were planning on Byron Jones playing. But because he didn't play, they had to switch up what Javon Holland had to do.
And
Javon Holland had to be a babysitter. Javon Holland's supposed to be a field general, not a babysitter.
That
I
right
agree
there,
on that. Yeah.
That right there is why we had the 27th ranked defense, fellas. That we had an incompetent defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and that's why also Javon Holland didn't make a Pro Bowl. He could have been a Pro Bowler if he wasn't babysitting other players.
Would you rather get another corner or a third safety to allow guys like X and Holland to go back?
I'd rather get a safety. See, this is why I don't believe corner is such a priority.
In the draft, though, I should have added that caveat. Sorry.
Well, I
depends on what we do in free agency.
I would still rather get a safety regardless. And the reason why is because Vic doesn't predicate his defense off corners like we've been used to since Flores and Josh Boyer were here. It was all predicated off the corners. This defense is predicated off the safeties. So safety is a more important need, especially at the very least in terms of depth. But I think we need another starter that has good coverage skills because it's going to require both of them to be able to cover. They're going to have to be multiple safeties. They're going to have to do everything. So we're going to also need a very this is why I'm going safety and free agency, because you need also a veteran at that position to know the nuances of the game. You don't really want to go in a win now mode with starting a rookie safety in a Vic Fangio defense.
That was going to be my next question.
So, or corner in that matter. I mean, at least with the young guys we have on the team, they have some experience. They've been on the field. And here's the other thing. A lot of people are overlooking Verone McKinley. They really need to stop.
That's why I wouldn't draft a safety if we get one in free agency. Because I like Verone McKinley.
Verone McKinley's best attributes are in two high safety looks in coverage. That is what Verone McKinley's good at. He's not an in-the-box safety. He's a
Yeah,
smaller frame guy, and he's good in coverage. I actually am kind of curious to see if he takes a step forward. And they might not go after safety. They might be okay with the players they have in-house.
I
Because,
trust Sam Madison to make that call. Sam and Vic Fangio, like, I'm
yeah,
down. Ooh.
it's going to be interesting.
yeah. If we get a top tier safety in free agency, I wouldn't draft one because I do like Verone McKinley, and he did similar things that Javon Holland did in college. So, they're buddies. They're going to learn together, and Verone
They're also
McKinley's going to
comfortable
pick it up.
together.
Yeah,
There's comfortable. There's comfort. There's familiarity with the two because they played together in college, which is going to speed up the transition that McKinley's going to have from college to the NFL, which is why I think he had some bright spots this past season.
yeah, and I think he's up for it because his nickname in Oregon was the General. You don't get that nickname just because you earn that nickname because you're that dude, that
Yep.
leader, that floor general, as so to speak. So
I like that. I've always liked the fact that McKinley and Holland had that connection. I was hoping for a little bit more of a step this year. Obviously, a little bit of a big task for UDFA. But Russell, you meant like not draft one, not sign one, just roll with Brandon Jones, Rowan McKinley, Javon Holland, right?
I
Is that
mean,
what
they might go that route if Vic sees the potential in McKinley. Because you got to understand, I can tell you right now,
that could
Vic
be nice,
Fangio
man.
has been
Cheap but
watching
nice.
their film on their defense already. I can tell you that now. He's already in that room watching those safeties, watching that defense. He might see some things in McKinley and say, you know what, let's ride with this. Let's ride with these Oregon guys and go with it.
They'll get
It
us a
wouldn't
lot more money
surprise
for
me.
other spots.
Exactly. They could fix the offensive line.
I wouldn't mind it, but I'd definitely be a little nervous having McKinley and Javon Holland play at the same time this season. So
I wouldn't be just simply because of Vic Fangio. He knows what he's doing.
yeah, Vic Fangio is going to want to get that safety in free agency.
And that'll tell us what we need to know about Verone McKinley. He's not ready yet.
Well, I think he could be. I think he could challenge Brandon Jones, especially if Brandon Jones isn't the scheme fit that we think he might not be. I mean, Verone
Brandon
McKinley
Jones
could still play.
challenges Jerome Baker.
So McKinley would be that third deep safety, and then Brandon Jones
Yeah.
would split time with Jerome Baker.
He's your in the box guy blitzing. He's also better in coverage. He's literally almost the same player as Jerome. The only difference is that he's better in coverage. He's smaller, of course, but he's a sure. His tackling is not bad either. So I'm inclined because here's the thing. We can't restructure Jerome Baker again. We already did it this recently. We can't move any of his money. Even with his contract at what it is now, I love Jerome Baker, the person. I have issues with him and being used wrong in a defense, which isn't his fault, but he also doesn't exactly fit this scheme as an all down, every down linebacker unless he is literally playing nothing but weak side. And that's going to be packages because they're not going to run a 3-4 all the time or 4-3 for that matter. So they're going to have a lot of 3 safety looks with 2 linebackers. There's also a lot of 4-2-5 packages. I mean, where there's an extra corner on the field that he plays a completely different style. So I don't know what they're going to do with Jerome Baker. I know that he has been with the team for quite a while. I think we know what we have in him. I think he's a weak side blitzer. I think that's what he's good at, and he's got to be coming from the edge. He can't be running up the middle because he can't shed blocks. His problem is he can't shed blocks and he can't cover. So with that being said, I think they are going to attempt to find a trade partner, but I don't know if they succeed in that. And I really think Brandon Jones can fill that role, and that's where he can be used more. And it's going to be package based.
But don't forget, Fangio also said that he also will tailor his defense to the players that are on the field. So I do think that if he wants, what he could do with Jerome Baker is he could be like that third pass rusher behind, Chubb and Phillips.
Have a good night, boss man.
Because Phillips and Chubb aren't going to play every single down. So Jerome Baker comes in mostly in packages. But, I mean, we'll see what Fangio does. Because Fangio, like he said, he's been tinkering with some stuff. And you best believe some of the stuff he was working with he's going to implement here. And Jerome Baker might have a role.
He said he created 2 new coverages, man. So
he already mentioned he added new wrinkles to his defense.
I'm saying he said he created 1 to 2 new coverages, like new little schemes for himself, man.
Yeah, and he already said that if you want to be one of the best defensive coordinators, you got to adapt every single season, or pretty much every single season, and that's what he's been doing, and that's what he's doing now.
So maybe the guys we have already fit. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe.
I mean, he already said definitely Javon Holland does. He's like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. Of course he fits, but he'll look at other guys.
Oof.
Linebackers are biggest hole on defense.
I agree. That's why we need a big-time middle linebacker at free agency.
Man, there are too many defensive linemen. I'm ready for these linebackers.
Russell, you're watching on TV, right?
Yeah.
Is it still going on the TV? It's just not going on NFL Plus, I guess?
Yeah, it's still going.
So sad, bro.
Yep, they're doing more defensive line. They're doing 10-yard split and 40-yard dashes.
Damn, man, I'm here just for the 40-yard dash. It's literally my favorite event.
Make sure it plays when it gets to linebacker.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I'm probably gonna have to rock in 30 minutes, but I don't think I'm gonna make it to the linebacker.
It wouldn't surprise me if the linebackers don't start till 6. I feel like they're gonna get the last 2 hours. There's less linebackers than there are defensive linemen.
Yeah, there's a lot of defensive linemen, but it's a position we're not really. We're looking at Greer's always looking, but we're not that. It's not a priority. Linebacker is a priority. Offensive line is a priority.
No, yeah. Today was mainly
is a priority.
That is like my stream test. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to see if this would even run the entire time, like how this would operate.
Ran a little bit, but
yeah, it ran a bit. Not the full time. Might have to. I think my
would the NFL take down this video or something?
That's what also I wanted to see. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see if this is gonna get taken down or whatnot.
He won't know until after the video ends.
Yeah, I feel like when you end the video, you're going to get struck by something.
It was fun while it lasted. Thank you all for.
And you feel like you're safe from the NFL with your tinfoil hat, but you're not. The NFL is going to get you some way somehow.
That's why I try to show them I'm on NFL Plus, bro. It's like, what's up, man? What's up, man? I'm not legally streaming this. We're doing off of your stuff. We're playing by your rules, kinda. Just for the people, bro. It didn't even work.
No, apparently the Cleveland Browns don't hold. Oh, of course they don't. They traded for Deshaun Watson. Duh.
Yeah, they trade a lot for Deshaun Watson, and I know he's rusty, but so far not much of a return.
No.
Or no return at all. But they knew he'd be rusty, so we'll see next season. But I think
he's in his head over all the stuff he's done.
Yeah, and I also don't think that they were a quarterback away. They need a lot of stuff, including wide receivers. Like, you better get a wide receiver for him. Like, what? You can't trot out what you had at wide receiver?
Nope.
It's like the Giants. The Giants were like, yeah, Galladay sucks so bad. Get rid of him. We need to address wide receiver.
Did you guys see? Speaking of the Giants, they have officially declined to pick up the 5th-year option on Daniel Jones, and he will enter free agency.
They already declined it, didn't they? Like before the season started?
No, they were actually considering doing a 5th-year option. This just dropped earlier today.
I thought they'd been declined it. But yeah, I'm not surprised they declined it because they feel like they can get better, or if he wants to come back for less money, he could, but we'll see.
Working on my friggin' phone, not on my laptop.
Of course
That's
it is.
lame. Brenton Cox Jr. How fast is this man?
4.85 his first attempt.
You're just ahead of me. You stole the joy.
Sorry.
I'll never
Yeah,
forgive you.
NFL Network's like 10 seconds ahead of NFL Plus.
No, it makes 1,000% sense, brother. No worries. He's still a fast man.
He's moving.
Kind of
Because I'm assuming that we were watching the defensive tackles. Now we're watching the defensive ends.
Yeah, this guy's like 263, so probably DNs.
Oh wow, 4, 5, 6.
This is a quick man. Yeah, I saw Nolan Smith had like a 41-inch vertical. That was crazy. It's like
I didn't see
250
that.
pounds.
I didn't catch the vertical. I was probably too busy chit chatting on here.
So I know I'm probably gonna get taken down for showing the combine stuff over here, but what if I played like the replays afterwards? Is that allowed?
They could still do that. They can. It's a copyright strike, but it just depends on if they. I don't know how it works since you're not monetized.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a small fry. I'm a baby.
I'm not sure how. I know that Reason got dinged, and he got a video demonetized because it's actually because Brian Baldinger started doing all 22 film on YouTube. Running down the free agency prospects, and he got dinged on Saquon Barkley all 22.
Yeah, but they would be a lot harsher on all 22 than the combine, I would assume, though.
I
That's what
would
I'm
think so
saying.
too. But
Like games, I understand. Like all 22, like film, like that's all understandable. But this is the combine. It's just underwear Olympics, man.
they might not. It just depends.
That's what this has all been, bro. It's all the test.
As much as I love the combine, I swear it's slow. It kind of bores me from time to time.
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's why I look at the highlights, not the entire thing. I used to look at the entire thing, but it's just boring. I just rather look at the highlights, and I'll look into it, but I'm not taking much away from the combine because, like you said, it's the underwear Olympics, and someone could test out incredibly well, but if you watch their tape and their tape doesn't show you much, then how do you
The
really rate
combine
them?
is literally for prospects who have questions about their athleticism, and the ones who shine improve their draft stock. The ones who don't get stuck where they get stuck.
Like my biggest problem, like my biggest problem is when Orlando Brown Jr. had a terrible combine, and then people were saying, "Oh, I don't want my team to draft him," and I thought he was a first round pick even after the combine, and he left, and because of that bad combine, he lasted to the third round. So, like you can have a bad combine and still be a good player.
Yeah,
Happens all the time.
I think the combine should just be more of like, if I've got 2 A's, which one am I going to give an A plus? And I'm just going to look at their combine, and it's like, okay, like bam, that's a little tiny difference maker. But it shouldn't be something that's going to totally screw someone over, man. Like falling to the third round is ridiculous.
Yeah, it has screwed a lot of people over, but it's also helped people. like that dude from the Eagles, I forgot his name, but back in the 90s, I think edge rusher from Michigan State, I believe. He had an incredible combine. He broke a lot of records, and he was overdrafted.
And it goes both ways, man. It's some guys it really helps out. They shoot up really far. Like we talked about, Anthony Richardson's probably going to shoot up. It screws some people over. Like Jarvis fell to the second round, man. It was just too
for our benefit because I really wanted him. When we drafted him, I was excited because I loved the kid. I loved him and Odell Beckham. But yeah, it did screw him over a little bit. It's cost him millions.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like they were ranked like right 1 and 2 next to each other, like coming out of college, and then like you have a bad 40, and it's all downhill after that, man. So sad.
And that's why Anthony Richardson. Don't be surprised if he's the first quarterback or second quarterback taken. because of the combine.
Can you imagine
And
if he's
his
number
pro
one
day.
overall?
I mean, Trey
The
Lance
Bear-
wasn't ready, and he got drafted 3rd overall. So
Yeah, but he was drafted by a team that was going to sit him regardless. But the Bears, do y'all think the Bears will trade the number 1 overall pick? I think they should. I'm not the biggest
Yeah, they're
Justin
going to.
Fields fan, but I also see that no quarterback can succeed if the Bears have terrible offensive personnel on their team. Like if they have the number 1 pick and they draft another quarterback, like who's he going to throw to? Is anyone going to block for him? You got no running backs either. You got an okay tight end. Like no quarterback's going to succeed under that. So you got to get the quarterback. You do have weapons.
Oh yeah, you got to trade down, man. Like you got to trade down, accumulate as many picks as you can, fill up those little holes. Because what's the point? I mean, like I even saw something as wild as like trade the 1st overall pick and Fields, just get a bunch of picks and reload as much as you can. But I don't think the Fields is the greatest player, but I think they should just keep him, trade down, and see what they can do. O-line.
Yeah, if I was them, I would trade down and see what they have in him for another year at least. But
Justin Fields reminds me of Cam Newton with even less accuracy.
Yeah, he kind of does to me. He's a better athlete than Cam Newton, but
He's faster.
Yeah, he's a way better athlete. But yeah, he's not. Even though Cam Newton had accuracy problems, I do think he's less accurate than Cam Newton, even him.
That's why I compare the two. It's not necessarily the fact that they're both were athletic or anything. It's just he reminds me of the style of play he does.
And I don't think you should be saying that to many people because people can misconstrue that and say something about race.
Oh, I'd hope not. I'm definitely not talking about that. It's just a style of play.
I know. I agree with you, but you know how some people can be.
Oh, I know. I've gone down that road before. So,
like when I was evaluating quarterbacks in the Kyler Murray draft, I was very down on Haskins, and people were making assumptions similar to that, and it really hurt me because I felt like I was scouting him, and I felt like I did a pretty good job of scouting him, and I did not like what I saw. Now, rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins, but
I agree with that. I wasn't real big on Haskins either that draft. So
good one too, Russell.
With these linebackers, man, and I'll holler at y'all later.
All right, later, Russell.
Later, Mr. Russell. Thanks for tuning in, bro.
Absolutely, brother.
So probably just stitch up some highlights next time and talk about those.
Yeah. If you want to stream highlights of prospects, including linebackers, I think that would be great. Yeah, hopefully they don't ding you.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to be here in time to do the linebacker 40.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll probably
but if you're a Dolphins fan, you have to watch it. If you're not going to watch the whole thing, at least watch the highlights if you're a Dolphins fan.
Oh, I'm going to watch it on my phone. I just got to go somewhere.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to stream it because any Dolphins fan should just watch it.
That's definitely the most important part of the combine right there. I wish this would actually put on my laptop. But
all right, well, I gotta go, Nando. Great show. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, man, I'm probably about to hop off this as well, man. But EM, thank you for tuning in, man. I do appreciate you for coming in and chopping it up with me.
Yeah, no problem. Great having the show, and I've been off panels for a while, and I plan on getting on some more when more people have panels. But yeah, great having the show, and great draft talk. There's gonna be a lot of draft talk with the Dolphins and free agent talk because free agency is in a couple of weeks. So
yeah, man, free agency in 2 weeks. Draft coming up in a month and a half. So thanks for chatting it up, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, let's go, Miami. Let's get good players.
That's good ones, man. Fins up, chins up, always, guys. So we're basically wrapping up to the 2-hour mark, guys. If you want to keep following me along for some combine coverage, I was playing it on the laptop. It is getting a little slowed down, and I don't think it's loading up anymore. So I try to do it through my phone. Not the highest quality. That's not the kind of guy I am. So if you got any more draft questions, I'm gonna carry on the show for probably a couple of minutes just to close it out. If you got any questions, but if not, really, just wanted to say thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be having coverage throughout the week. We still got to cover some big names like linebackers. Later tonight, I will be stitching up a little highlight thing, maybe going live again to re-talk about it. But if not, posting up a clip talking about the linebackers, the great times. It's time to look out for guys like Jack Campbell, guys who 6'5", 240 pounds. His only question really is athleticism. So his 40-yard dash is going to be massive. Trenton Simpson, all this talk about him being such a good athlete. Let's see if he lives up to the hype. Guys like Sewell out of Oregon who haven't had the most noise about them can use the combine to re-burst their name back in the limelight. To Marvin Overshawn out of University of Texas has been linked to us as well due to that Brandon Jones connection. A lot of linebackers are being talked about, being spoken of. And when they're that close in comparison, I have to believe that the Miami Dolphins are going to sit there and actually look and say, this combine, these interviews, this feats of athleticism, this underwear Olympics, I'm actually going to take a little bit more extra attention to it. And we as Dolphins fans should as well. It could be our first look at some future Miami Dolphins. But if you want to see more draft coverage news throughout this week, remember we still have the offensive linemen, the tight ends, maybe. But really those corners, those running backs are going to be extremely interesting. The wide receivers as well. Those are the guys who can break the 40-yard dash. We'll be covering it all. So check me out at Nando Talk on YouTube, Twitter. Subscribe for more positive Dolphins vibes, and we'll be sure to get you all rocking and rolling. I think we're up to 768, so thank you to the 4 or 5 guys who subscribed during the show. It is genuinely appreciated. Welcome to the ride. We'll be spending more positive Dolphins vibes shortly and forever, honestly, on Nando Talk. But any other questions draft-wise? I don't think the coverage is going to be coming back on my laptop, and as much as I can say put it on the phone, I would much rather recommend you guys just turn on NFL Network, maybe ESPN if you don't have that, and watching it. The NFL Network app on the phone is free right now. I was playing this from my NFL Plus account on my computer, but check out the phone as well. It's very cool, very good quality, guys. And without further ado, though, I think that has been the show. Solid 2 hours. This has been a nice Tinfoil Hat Thursday. If we can give a final little tinfoil thoughts, it really would have to be mainly that the Dolphins are this close to winning a Super Bowl. When the couple of right moves in free agency, like we talked about with Russell and EM, with everybody in the chat, the right moves in free agency, if the Miami Dolphins go and get a veteran middle linebacker, maybe get a safety to fix that Fangio scheme, really fit in there, acquire some extra help on the offensive line, get some running backs back, and then whatever needs be the last remaining, fill them in free agency. That we fill in free agency. The last needs remaining, fill them up in the draft. Bada bing, bada bang. We're in there like swimwear. Our Super Bowl window shoots wide open, and we fixed it up. And the draft, I really want more of those cheaper guys like a running back. Some linebacker help would be awesome as well, but I want veterans, and it's got to be all a balance between Fangio, between McDaniel, between mixing up veterans, rookies, and retaining the talent we already have in this Dolphins team. This close to winning a Super Bowl. Come on, Dolphins front office, take us home, fix it up. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been a wonderful Nando Talk. Appreciate you all for tuning in. Check me out tomorrow. What position is being played tomorrow? I've got to check. Oh, tomorrow we get to watch defensive backs and special teams. So tomorrow, check us out March 3rd. Tomorrow, check us out at 3 p.m. I'll be covering the defensive backs, the corners. I'll be trying to have it up a little bit easier, and hopefully we'll see those 40-yard dash times, see who is very impressing us in the drills, and maybe some future Miami Dolphins. So bada bing, bada bang. Thank you all for tuning in to Nando Talk, and I'll see you tomorrow for the defensive backs and some special team time. So fins up, chins up. I hope you guys enjoyed. Everyone, stay beautiful, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.